More commitments to the economy by supporting micro, small and medium enterprises. Controller General of the Service, Adewale Adeniyi, disclosed this at the graduation of apprentices at Customs Wives Association Acquisition Training Center in Abuja. Kunle Adeyeye reports.
Micro, small and medium enterprises (MSMEs) in Nigeria account for a substantial portion of job creation, constituting 80 to 88% of the total labor force, and contribute significantly to the gross domestic product (GDP). Customs Wives Association is riding on these enticing statistics by investing in its members through training in various vocations. Training completed, they are now graduates empowered with starter packs, and COA remains resolute to press on.
For us at COA, our mission, our vision is to see that all customs officers' wives, they are set free from poverty, that they will have something doing, and they will be self-reliant.
You've empowered us with tools that will serve us far into the future, and for that, we are sincerely and most grateful. Specifically through this program, we've had the opportunity to learn and develop skills.
We have marinated, we have seasoned, and we have cooked our way through this program.
Sharing news now comes from the Chief Custodian of Borders, whose primary job is to facilitate trade, but now tilts towards MSMEs.
As a mark of demonstration of support, I want to tell you that all your products, one way or the other, will be patronized by the Nigeria Customs Service. When you are talking about the arrays of foods that your chef can make, I am going to direct the ACG headquarters that our next management meeting, the food and the entertainment will be catered by our departments.
COA Skills Acquisition Center, established in November 2024, has graduated hundreds of apprentices. Kunle Adeyeye, NTA News.
To fully domesticate the AU Agenda 2063, Alden Epad Nigeria is aligning with MDAs to accelerate inclusive and sustainable developments for Nigeria and to promote regional integration. Managing Director Alden Epad Nigeria, Jabiru Salisu Abdullahi Sori, disclosed that this is to ensure shared prosperity. This was at a dinner at the instance of the Director General, NTA, Salihu Abdulhamid Dembos, in honor of the new MD, Alden Epad Nigeria, who assumed office last December. Elizabeth Omori reports.
To actualize Agenda 2063, a 50-year blueprint to transform Africa into a powerhouse, development experts believe requires the commitment of all member states. Nigeria, as a member state, is focusing on supporting value chains, facilitating investments, and coming up with initiatives that align with the federal government's agenda. Now the mantle to drive this mandate rests on the new boss of Alden Epad Nigeria, a man of impeccable records, whose associates and friends attest to his doggedness and professionalism to deliver.
You can give him a plus what he has done and what he has achieved, and in terms of transforming the place.
He's a man of great qualities that you can bet anywhere, anytime, whether at the local government or at the state level. And I believe even where he is today, he is demonstrating it and he is going to make it.
If you look at his antecedents, what he has been, how he has been able to manage both human and material resources, how he's been able to achieve successes, I think I don't have any iota of doubt that he's going to succeed.
Managing Director, Alden Epad Nigeria, speaks on implementation of the agenda.
We take a step forward by appointing coordinators at the state level, the 36 states and Abuja. Every one of them will have coordinator. Now, by doing that, every information, every conformity of the Agenda 23 can be passed. Our next step now is to descend to the local governments.
The Director General of the NTA was also applauded for providing purposeful leadership and promoting professionalism within the media space. Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
The Nigerian Army will forever remain committed to coming up with forward-looking initiatives that will assist in achieving its core mandate of defending the territorial integrity of the country, as well as ensuring effective management of re-emerging security threats. This reassuring remark came up during the opening session of the first Chief of Army Staff three-day biannual conference holding in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital. Abubakar Musa reports.
The Chief of Army Staff first three-day biannual conference 2025 is a critical platform for leadership of the Army and participants generally to assess execution of operations, training activities, as well as key strategic decisions that aligns with the Army's constitutional mandate. Declaring the event open, Nigeria's Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, challenged participants to consider the program as an opportunity to brainstorm and evaluate ongoing efforts in counter-terrorism, counter-insurgency, banditry, and other high-risk security operations, identify successes recorded so far while proffering improvements to enhance operational efficiency.
Join the division of tropical issues. Our goal is to identify areas of improvement and develop practical solutions that will strengthen our effectiveness in safeguarding national space and security.
Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede also enjoined participants, especially field commanders, to gain valuable insights into the Chief of Army Staff's strategic command philosophy for the Nigerian Army, including new directives, priorities, and operational focuses. It is expected that deliberations during the conference will address logistical support, operational deployments, and other key areas, ensuring every facet of the Army's operations is optimized for maximum efficiency while enhancing troops' morale through sound administration. The Chief of Army Staff later handed over 5 new military combat vehicles to the theater commander to augment ongoing efforts of frontline troops in countering violent extremism in Maiduguri. Abubakar Musa, NTA News.
You're watching the news desk at 3 on NTA News 24. More reports in a moment. Stay with us.
Pleased to announce encouraging news from the National Bureau of Statistics, which released the Consumer Price Index, the CPI, for April 2025 only yesterday. According to the report, the headline inflation rate for April stood at 23.71%, This represents a decrease of 0.52% from the 24.23% recorded in March 2025. Similarly, month-on-month inflation dropped by a notable 2.04% from 3.90% in March to 1.86% in April. This, of course, did not just happen by chance. The President is focused and is determined, and his determination and his interventions are clearly paying off. The benefits of reform, though gradual, are real and measurable.
Welcome back. The Kogi State Ministry of Water Resources is appealing to residents of Lokoja to be responsible in fixing their broken water pipelines in order to sustain supply of water in the state capital. The Commissioner, Yahaya Mohammed Farouk, stated this while updating stakeholders on efforts by the state government towards achieving full supply of water in the state. Here is Abdul Salam Mohammed's report.
Stakeholders' meeting is to seek partnership with members of the public in protecting water facilities in their communities and the need to maintain broken pipelines supplying water to their residents. Commissioner for Water Resources Yahya Mohammed Farouk says the ministry has been able to fix most of the broken pipelines within the metropolis and that government will soon install a modern pumping machine to be able to supply water to more areas in the metropolis. He advises the people to complement government's efforts through maintenance of their pipelines.
What is holding us that we say this place blocked, that place blocked, it's true now.
On the Lokoja Greater Works, the commissioner says more than 90% of electromechanical parts are to be replaced, and Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo has ensured that the facility is back to life.
Anytime the Greater Water has issue, that will not stop us from getting water from Lokoja. What they only do is to just change some parts.
Yahya Mohammed Farouk explains further that apart from Lokoja, the ministry is also working in the 3 senatorial districts to ensure that water gets to all the nooks and crannies of the state, as government has already procured drilling machine with huge budgetary provision made to fix the broken boreholes. Other speakers at the meeting commended Governor Ododo and the commissioner on their efforts in ensuring that there is potable water supply for their citizens.
So it is very, very worrisome that effort has not been made in Kogi State to give us water, those of us who live in the villages.
We want to plead with the commissioner and also the GM. They should look into the uphill Karawara community. Please.
In the meantime, Kogi State Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo has distributed food items to widows in the state to demonstrate his dedication to supporting the most vulnerable members of society. The governor noted that the struggles of widows in the state cannot be forgotten, assuring them that he was not going to politicize their affairs, but rather prioritize their flares and wipe away their tears, replacing them with opportunities. The governor, in a statement, said, quote, "Today we share food, clothes and financial supports, but beyond this, we are laying for something greater, the support system that includes skills training, access to healthcare, small business funding and education for your children." End of quote. He described taking the cause of the widows in the state as a sacred duty and appreciated his wife, Safinat Ododo, and the First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, for their unwavering commitment to the success and welfare of the women of Kogi State. In other news, medical experts want systemic changes that will improve communication, tracking test results rigorously, and involving patients actively in their care. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria believe physicians dwelling on their specialties can deploy a holistic multidisciplinary approach, decision support towards getting second opinions to reduce errors. Lydia Sampson reports.
The guests are on the same page that addressing diagnostic errors demands a collaborative effort between healthcare providers and patients to enhance accuracy, safety, and trust in medical care.
Laboratory investigations, or be it radiological or histopathology or hematology or all this and that, you put together that make a final diagnosis. Because in the course of your interaction with the patient, the first thing you do is take history, examination, and then you depend on the lab to make a final diagnosis.
It has to do with capacity for diagnosis, which will now speak to human resource and material and equipment.
They acknowledge patients' help by preparing detailed symptom history, being honest, requesting further testing if needed, avoiding quacks and over-the-counter treatment. Following up can mitigate wrongful diagnosis.
They must be given free hand to look into places of practice, public or private. Look at the activities of practitioners in these facilities, be them University Teaching Hospital, Federal Medical Centers, private hospitals, and private medical laboratories.
Convulsion, vomiting, headache, all those things. We did brain imaging. We saw multiple brain tumors. And once you see multiple lesions, most likely it's a secondary, that is, it's spreading from somewhere. We find it extremely difficult to detect the primary.
There must be revalidation processes and good standing, but the capacities to do that
we don't have all.
The guests are unanimous that wrong medical diagnosis continue to pose serious challenge globally, often leading to delayed treatment, unnecessary procedures, and significant health risks. They want proactive means of addressing communication gaps and electronic health record limitations and data retention to mitigate inexperienced physicians' overconfidence, personal biases, insufficient patient time, worsening illness, causing irreversible damage, and imposing emotional stress on patients. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the International Day to End Obstetric Fistula reminds us all of the silent suffering endured by countless women and girls in Nigeria and, of course, around the world over a condition that is both preventable and treatable. Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, stated this in a message marking the 2025 International Day to End Obstetric Fistula. She says this year's theme, Breaking the Cycle, Preventing Fistula Worldwide, highlights the urgent need to take bold and comprehensive steps towards eliminating this serious condition. While noting that many women in Nigeria continue to suffer from obstetric fistula in silence, often isolated and stigmatized simply for trying to bring a life into this world, the First Lady emphasizes the need to discourage such attitudes and support affected women. She also calls for prevention, which must involve strengthening maternal health services, ending child marriage, empowering women and girls through education, and ensuring skilled care before, during, and after childbirth. The people of Mopamuro local government area in Kogi State staged a peaceful procession calling on the members representing Yagba Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives to continue beyond 2027 in the Green Chamber, saying his representation has brought developments to the grassroots. The procession, which started at Mopa, took the APC leaders and members to Amuro, an APC stalwart in the local government. Jones Daniel said Like Abwejide has done very well by attracting developments to the federal constituency, saying they want him to attract more democracy dividends to Yagba Federal Constituency. Now, amid rising insecurity across Nigeria, fresh calls have emerged for the strategic integration of private security guards into the national security framework. Security experts and stakeholders are arguing that with thousands of registered private guards operating across the country, their coordinated involvement could significantly bolster intelligence gathering and community-level surveillance. Dennis Temple has more on this report.
Abuja, the capital of Nigeria, is undoubtedly the pride of the nation, with the appearance of a modern city and contemporary architecture. But beyond the serenity, there appears to be an increase in crime, usually associated with a ragtag group of miscreants who loiter the city. Here is Alex Pature, a 32-year-old man in a yellow uniform standing in front of a mall. He is a private security guard.
I grew up in the barracks. My dad is a soldier. So initially, right from time, I have that feelings for security job because I feel like my job is like to protect people, properties, and the rest.
This is just one example among thousands of private security operatives helping to hold Nigeria's fragile security structure together. Experts say the system is overstretched, but the PDCs are filling the gap.
This the platform gives us now the leverage, the coming together to help us push our interests, bring our activities to the limelight, to the public glare, to see that yes, we have been doing all of these years, doing this much all these years, but we require to be taking much more officially on board.
There are a sizable number of private gas companies in Nigeria. This industry not only boosts security efforts, it contributes significantly to the nation's GDP each year. The president of the Licensed Private Gas Companies Association describes the industry as a major employer, particularly of youth, but also a sector under pressure.
Almost every other home in our urban
urban cities have a private security guard in one out of every three homes or facilities. We are virtually everywhere. So the challenge is there. That's why we're laying so much emphasis now on training, and also for the government to see the reason for them to also give us enough, allow us have enough instrument or equipment to face the current threats we face.
There are growing calls to allow specially trained guards to bear light arms. They say current national legislation prohibits it, with thousands of operators nationwide ensuring compliance and standardization remains a challenge.
We want government participation, we want stakeholders participation, we want absolute encouragement.
Perhaps it's time Nigeria takes a harder look at the shadow force guarding its gates. In Abuja, Dennis Temple, NTA News.
Now, for those who had the opportunity to have met the legal icon, Niyi Ayola Daniels, it was an evening of tributes to the memory of the philanthropists. Comfort Fashion reports on the icon, who has been described as a man of many parts with impact on the legal landscape in Nigeria.
Niyi Ayola Daniels was a man of many parts with positive impact on those who enjoyed the grace to have contact with the deceased legal icon. Apart from being an author in the legal space, Niyi was equally a committed preacher of the word.
Was a professional. He made his impact in the legal profession, in the oil and gas industry. A very passionate person, but still very compassionate. A very kind person. A person who cares so much for people.
Niyi basically was a man full of life. He just had an unusual capacity to lift the spirit of everybody, wherever he was. He had empathy, he believed in people, he brought people up. And you heard about his legacy with the Buniyadi Foundation. He has had an impact on the lives of people from all walks of life, whether they're Christians or Muslims and so on.
He was so full of ideas, he was almost always brimming with them. And every time he came to my office, there seemed like there was not enough time for him to express what he wanted us to do, what he hoped we could achieve together.
His belief system of extending hands of fellowship to the less privileged in the society made him a philanthropist with landmark assistance to the needy. As a father and a husband, Niyi Ayola Daniels will be greatly missed.
As a father, you balance love and discipline with ease, pampering our children while teaching them valuable life lessons and family values with the fear of God. You gave your best.
He was not competing with his wife. We have many men today who compete with their wives.
Ayola David, the founder of Buniyadi Foundation, he sponsored my school from SS1 to SS3 now. I'm about to write WAEC and graduate.
The remains of the legal practitioner, Niyi Ayola Daniels, have been laid to rest. In Abuja, Comfort Fashion, NTA News.
Well, that concludes the News Desk of 3 on NTA News 24. Thank you for watching. I am Dennis Adigunloye.